All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am V. Ravi Kumar and with me is V.C. Pramod. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to transfer 10th installment of PM Kisan scheme to the bank accounts of more than 10 crore farmers tomorrow. Prime Minister launches 23 projects worth over 17,500 crore rupees at Haldwani in Uttarakhand. Says present decade belongs to Uttarakhand. GST Council to meet today to discuss important agenda including report of the panel of state ministers on rate rationalization. Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra says all political parties in Uttar Pradesh want assembly elections on time. 3 terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces at the outskirts of Srinagar city in Jammu and Kashmir. Government to send SMS reminder for precautionary dose of COVID vaccine. Bharat Biotech says Covaxin found to be safe for children in phase 2 and 3 trials. And in cricket, India to lock horns with Sri Lanka in the final of Under-19 Asia Cup in Dubai at 11 a.m. today. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is a cause for concern. In this situation, we appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact National Helpline numbers 01123978046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will release the 10th installment of financial benefit under Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme at 12:30 p.m. tomorrow through video conferencing. More than 20,000 crore rupees will be transferred to more than 10 crore beneficiaries. Under the PM Kisan scheme, financial benefit of 6,000 rupees per year is provided to the eligible farmer families. The amount is being transferred in 3 installments of 2,000 rupees. The fund is transferred directly to the bank accounts of the beneficiaries. So far, over 1,60,000 crore rupees have been transferred to farmers' families. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated and laid foundation of 23 projects worth 17,500 crore rupees at Haldwani in Uttarakhand yesterday. These projects cover a wide array of sectors and areas across the state, including irrigation, road, housing, health infrastructure, industry, sanitation, and drinking water supply. The projects included laying the foundation stone of AIIMS All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Haldwani, Lakhwar Multipurpose Project, a hydropower facility in Pithoragarh, multiple road projects across the state under the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, and strategically important Tanakpur-Pithoragarh Road project to improve the connectivity of Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, among others. The Prime Minister also laid the foundation stone of Aroma Park at Kashipur and Plastic Industrial Park at Sitarganj. In line with the Prime Minister's endeavour to expand the medical infrastructure of the state and provide world-class medical facilities in different parts of the country, the foundation stones of AIIMS Rishikesh Satellite Centre at Udham Singh Nagar and Jagjeevan Ram Government Medical College at Pithoragarh were also laid. In line with the vision to improve connectivity at far-flung places of the country, inauguration and foundation stone laying of multiple road sector projects worth over 8,700 crore rupees was also done on this occasion. These road projects will improve connectivity between Garhwal, Kumaon and Tarai region. It will also improve connectivity between Uttarakhand and Nepal. Improved connectivity will also benefit industrial areas in Rudrapur and Lal Kuan, besides improving the accessibility of Jim Corbett National Park. The Prime Minister said that the present decade belongs to Uttarakhand.
17,000 करोड़ रुपए से अधिक के विकास कार्यों का लोकार्पण और शिलान्यास हुआ है। ये सारे प्रोजेक्ट कुमाऊं के सभी साथियों को बेहतर कनेक्टिविटी, बेहतर स्वास्थ्य सुविधाएं देने वाले हैं। और मैं आपको एक और खुशखबरी हल्द्वानी वालों के लिए मैं नए साल की एक और सौगात लेकर आया। हल्द्वानी शहर के ओवरऑल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लिए विकास के लिए हम लगभग 2000 करोड़ रुपए की योजना लेकर आ रहे हैं। अब हल्द्वानी में पानी, सीवरेज, सड़क, पार्किंग, स्ट्रीट लाइट सभी जगह पर अभूतपूर्व सुधार होगा। साथियों, इस दशक को उत्तराखंड का दशक बनाने के लिए तेज गति से ऐसे ही विकास कार्यों पर अनेक काम करने की जरूरत पर हमने जोर दिया है।
Targeting the opposition, Mr. Modi said earlier governments ignored the developmental needs of the state and of the people of the state. The Prime Minister said the work of the Lakhwar project, which has started here in Uttarakhand yesterday, has the same history. He said the project was first thought of in 1976. Shri Modi said, yesterday after 46 years, our government has laid the foundation stone for its work. He said the central government has also set up India's largest optical telescope at Devasthal in Nainital. The Prime Minister said the nation has not forgotten the brave mothers of Kumaon who dedicated their children to the defense of the nation. He announced that just like Rishikesh-Karnaprayag railway line, Tanakpur-Bageshwar railway line will also be constructed soon.
हमने न सिर्फ टनकपुर पिथौरागढ़ ऑल वेदर रोड पर काम किया, बल्कि लीपू लेक तक की भी सड़क बनाई और इस पर आगे भी विस्तार कार्य चल रहा है। टनकपुर बागेश्वर रेल लाइन को लेकर ये उत्तराखंड विरोधी नए भ्रम फैला रहे हैं। टनकपुर बागेश्वर रेल लाइन का फाइनल लोकेशन सर्वे इस प्रोजेक्ट का बहुत बड़ा आधार है और इसलिए हो रहा है ताकि इस रेल लाइन पर जल्दी से जल्दी काम शुरू हो सके। आज ऋषिकेश कर्णप्रयाग रेल रूट बन रहा है, कल टनकपुर बागेश्वर रूट भी ऐसे ही बनेगा। मेरे उत्तराखंड के भाइयों और बहनों, ये शिलान्यास के ये पत्थर मात्र नहीं है, ये वो संकल्प शिलाएं हैं जो डबल इंजन की सरकार सिद्ध करके दिखाएगी।
Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah will address 3 rallies in Uttar Pradesh today. He will pay obeisance at Sri Ram Janmabhoomi and Hanuman Gadi in Ayodhya. As per the press release from the BJP office, Amit Shah will reach Hanuman Gadi at around 10:30 and at Sri Ram Janmabhoomi at 11 a.m. After darshan, he will address a public gathering at Government Inter College Ayodhya. In the afternoon, he will address another gathering at Sant Kabir Nagar. Senior BJP leader will lead a roadshow from Kutub Khana area in Bareilly district at 3:30 in the afternoon and later in the evening address a gathering at Patel Chowk area. The GST Council will meet today and one of the agendas of the meeting is to discuss the report of the panel of state ministers on rate rationalization. This will be a meeting in person which will also discuss correction in duty inversion in certain goods. The group of ministers on rate rationalization will submit a report to the Council. The panel has reviewed items under an inverted duty structure. Besides, the Fitment Committee, comprising tax officers from states and the centre, has made many sweeping recommendations to the GOM regarding slab and rate changes and taking items out of the exemption list.
Chief Election Commissioner CEC Sushil Chandra has said that all political parties in Uttar Pradesh have urged that assembly elections should be held on time. Addressing the media after a 3-day visit to the state for a review of the preparations, Mr. Chandra said that there will be no delay in the upcoming polls. He said representatives of all political parties met the Election Commission team and said that elections should be conducted on time following all COVID-19 protocols.
सभी दलों ने विदाउट एनी डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन सभी ने कहा कि कोविड को ध्यान में रखते हुए समय पर चुनाव कराए जाएं। कुछ दलों के प्रतिनिधियों ने दिन के समय बिना कोविड नियमों का पालन किए हुए चुनावी रैलियों के प्रति अपनी चिंता जाहिर की। साथ ही रैलियों की संख्याओं को नियंत्रित करने की भी मांग की। उन्होंने ये भी सुझाव दिया कि घनी आबादी वाले पोलिंग स्टेशन को खुले स्थानों में किया जाए ताकि कोविड प्रोटोकॉल का पालन करते हुए मतदान संपन्न हो सके।
Mr. Chandra said in view of the increase in number of voters and also the prevailing pandemic condition, Election Commission has decided to set up 11,000 more polling booths to ensure that there is no crowding. He said the ECI will also extend the polling time by 1 hour across the state to prevent crowding at polling stations. Assembly elections are due in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Goa and Manipur early next year.
In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists were killed in an encounter with security forces at the outskirts of Srinagar city last night. Police said incriminating materials, including arms and ammunition, were recovered from the encounter site at Panta Chowk. We spoke to J&K DGP Dilbag Singh about the encounter.
पुलिस की बस पर अटैक हुआ था पंथा चौक जैवन के एरिया में। हम लोग अलग अलग इनपुट्स के ऊपर काम कर रहे थे और हमें पता चल गया था कि इस अटैक में कौन लोग शामिल। बेस्ड ऑन द इनपुट्स हम लोग भी 2 जगह पे इनकाउंटर हुए थे, कुलगाम में और अनंतनाग में, जिसमें 3 दहशतगर्द जैश ए मोहम्मद के मारे गए थे। दोनों में फॉरेन टेररिस्ट शामिल थे। आज भी पुलिस एक खास इतला के ऊपर सीआरपी टीम के साथ एक जगह पे ऑपरेशन के लिए गई थी जहां एनकाउंटर शुरू हुआ। उसमें 3 दहशतगर्द मारे गए हैं और उसमें एक वो दहशतगर्द भी शामिल है जो बस के अटैक में मेन अक्यूज्ड पाया गया था। इस तरीके से अभी तक जितने भी लोग पुलिस बस की अटैक में शामिल थे वो सब के सब न्यूट्रलाइज हो चुके।
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to transfer 10th installment of PM Kisan scheme to the bank accounts of more than 10 crore farmers tomorrow. Prime Minister launches 23 projects worth over 17,500 crore rupees at Haldwani in Uttarakhand. Says present decade belongs to Uttarakhand. GST Council to meet today to discuss important agenda, including report of the panel of state ministers on rate rationalization. Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra says all political parties in Uttar Pradesh want assembly elections on time. 3 terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces at the outskirts of Srinagar city in Jammu and Kashmir. Government to send SMS reminder for precautionary dose of COVID vaccine. Bharat Biotech says Covaxin found to be safe for children in phase 2 and 3 trials. In cricket, India to lock horns with Sri Lanka in the final of the Under-19 Asia Cup in Dubai at 11 a.m. today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
The Minister of Health and Family Welfare has informed that the Union Government will send an SMS alert to the eligible elderly population as a reminder for taking the precautionary dose of COVID vaccine that starts from January 10th. The ministry said that the precautionary dose of the COVID-19 vaccine is primarily to mitigate the severity of infection, hospitalization and death. In his address to the nation on 25th December, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had announced the vaccination for children and precautionary doses for those above 60 years in the wake of Omicron surge. India will begin to administer booster doses to frontline workers and senior citizens from January 10th. The centre said approximately 90% of the adult population in the country has been vaccinated against COVID-19 with the first dose.
Bharat Biotech has said that its COVID-19 vaccine, Covaxin, has proven to be safe for children between 2 to 18 years of age. The government has already given approval to use Covaxin for vaccinating children in the 15 to 18 age group from January 3rd. This comes after the Drugs Controller General of India, DCGI, approved the use of Covaxin for children aged 12 years and above. The subject expert committee advising the regulator had cleared the vaccine for use in 2-year-old children and above. Bharat Biotech has conducted phase 2 and 3 open-label multi-center studies to evaluate the safety, reactogenicity and immunogenicity of Covaxin in Hindi children and adolescents in the age group of 2 to 18. The Union Government has said that a total of 961 cases of COVID variant Omicron have been reported so far in the country. Out of these total cases, 320 patients have already recovered and migrated. The maximum number of 263 cases were reported in Delhi, followed by Maharashtra and Gujarat. Omicron cases have been reported in 22 states and union territories. Dr. V.K. Paul, member Niti Aayog, said that mask is very important to prevent spread of the infection.
All variants enter through the same route, and that route can be blocked by wearing a mask. The mask will not get out of fashion. Mask remains the final frontier in the face of this variant. In addition to the vaccine protection that you have inside your body, but the virus is an external agent and it has to pass through the barrier of the mask, and that makes it even more difficult. In addition to be prepared internally to fight this virus. So mask, even more important today.
India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 144 crore 45 lakh mark. More than 59 lakh vaccine doses were administered till 7 p.m. yesterday.
बीते साल की खट्टी मीठी यादों को समेटकर आकाशवाणी का समाचार सेवा प्रभाग 31 दिसंबर की रात 9:30 बजे प्रसारित करेगा कार्यक्रम वर्ष 2021 की एक झलक। इसे आप सुन सकते हैं FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज और अतिरिक्त मीटरों पर।
ये कार्यक्रम हमारी वेबसाइट newsonair.nic.in, यूट्यूब चैनल न्यूज ऑन AIR ऑफिशियल और हमारे ट्विटर हैंडल @AIR News Alerts पर भी उपलब्ध होगा।
The News Services Division brings you glimpses of the year 2021 in its special year-ender series, The Year That Was. Narendra Modi government has given a special focus on the micro, small and medium enterprises or MSME sector after coming to power in 2014. The government has taken a number of initiatives under the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan to support the MSME sector in the country, especially during the COVID pandemic. Speaking at an event in January this year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said several major steps have been taken for micro, small and medium industries under the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign.
सालों से अटकी और लटकी योजनाओं को गति मिलने से सूरत जैसे हमारे शहरों को गति मिली। हमारे उद्योगों और खासकर छोटे उद्योगों को, MSMEs को एक आत्मविश्वास मिलता है कि वो दुनिया के बड़े बाजारों से कंपटीशन कर रहे हैं तो उनके पास बड़े देशों जैसा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी है। आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान में इन छोटे उद्योगों के लिए और भी कई बड़े कदम उठाए गए। छोटे उद्योगों को संकट से बाहर निकालने के लिए एक तरफ हजारों करोड़ रुपए के आसान ऋण की व्यवस्था की गई है, वहीं दूसरी तरफ MSMEs को ज्यादा अवसर देने के लिए महत्वपूर्ण फैसले भी लिए गए। सबसे बड़ा फैसला मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और सर्विस एंटरप्राइज के भेदभाव को खत्म किया गया।
Our correspondent has filed this report.
The MSME sector is an important sector of the Indian economy. Favorable industrial policy of the government and different schemes implemented by MSME Ministry are helping the sector to realize its full potential to achieve the great vision of Prime Minister of $5 trillion economy. The growth of micro, small and medium enterprises depends on various factors such as access to market, quality of products, availability of timely credit and upgradation of technology. For capacity building of Indian MSME sector, the Ministry is implementing various schemes for skill development, technology upgradation, marketing support and access to credit to MSMEs. To counter the impact of COVID, government has taken a number of initiatives under the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan to support the MSME sector. Suparna Saikya, AIR News, Delhi.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
Today we remember the freedom fighter and social activist Krishna Ballabh Sahai, who was born on the 31st of December 1898 at Sheikhpura in Bihar.
Soon after completing graduation, Krishna Ballabh jumped into the freedom struggle. Between 1930 and 1934, he was imprisoned 4 times for taking part in the civil disobedience movement.
It was during these terms in jail that he met his mentor, Sri Krishna Sinha. In 1942, Quit India movement was launched with great fierceness all over India, and KB Sahai led the movement at Hazaribagh.
The British government ordered immediate arrest of all the leaders, and Krishna Ballabh was sent to Hazaribagh jail. He was instrumental in the escape of Jayaprakash Narayan along with his associates on the 9th of November 1942.
As a result, he was shifted to Bhagalpur jail with orders for rigorous imprisonment. He also served as a member of the Constituent Assembly of India. After independence, when the interim government was formed in Bihar, K.B. Sahai was given the charge of the Revenue Ministry.
He is credited with having authored the first pioneering legislation in the country to abolish the zamindari system in 1952 and played a major role in land reforms. He also served as the third Chief Minister of Bihar. He died in a road accident on the 5th of May 1974 on his way from Patna to Hazaribagh. We pay tribute to the noble soul.
December is also the death anniversary of freedom fighter and social activist Raj Narayan. He was born on the 23rd of November 1917 in Varanasi. Raj Narayan took active part in social activities during his student life. In 1934, Raj Narayan became a member of the Congress Socialist Party and helped organize a school and a labor organization.
He also served as a member of the National Committee of Students' Federation from 1939 to 1944. During the Quit India movement, Raj Narayan was the president of the Students' Congress and led protests in and around Varanasi. He was arrested on the 28th of September 1942 during the Quit India movement and was imprisoned till 1945.
When India became independent, Raj Narayan joined the Socialist Party. He was close to Acharya Narendra Dev and Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia. Dr. Lohia described him as a person who has the heart of a lion and practices of Gandhi. He became a member of the Rajya Sabha in 1966 from the Socialist Party. Raj Narayan also served as the Health Minister during the Janata Party government. He breathed his last on the 31st of December 1986 at the age of 69.
The 31st of December 2001 is also the death anniversary of T.M. Chidambara Raghunathan, a Tamil journalist who was sent to jail in 1942 for his participation in the Quit India movement.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
स्वाधीनता आंदोलन के दौरान भारतीय जनमानस को उत्प्रेरित कर स्वतंत्रता का अलख जगाने और मातृभूमि के प्रति सेवा, समर्पण और त्याग की ज्वाला प्रज्वलित कर देने वाले अमर गीतों पर आधारित विशेष कार्यक्रम आजादी के तराने सुनना न भूलें। FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर प्रत्येक शुक्रवार शाम 4:45 पर परिक्रमा कार्यक्रम के अंतर्गत आजादी के तराने सिर्फ आकाशवाणी पर।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewelry. For any consumer complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, Jago Grahak Jago. In cricket, India will lock horns with Sri Lanka in the final of the Under-19 Asia Cup today. The 50-over match will start at 11 a.m. Indian time in Dubai. India entered the finals after defeating Bangladesh in the second semi-final match yesterday, while Sri Lanka booked their final berth by beating Pakistan in the first semi-final. Riding on Sheikh Rashid's fantastic knock of 90 not out in 108 balls, India thrashed Bangladesh by 103 runs. Batting first, India posted a decent total of 243 wickets for 8 wickets in the stipulated 50 overs. Apart from Sheikh Rashid, Vicky Ostwal, 28 not out, Captain Yash Dhal, 26 and Raj Bawa, 23 also made valuable contributions with the bat for India. Chasing the target of 244 runs, Bangladesh's team was bundled out for 140 runs in 38.2 overs. Ariful Islam was the top scorer for Bangladesh with his 42-run knock, while opener Majiful Islam made 26. For India, Rajvandar Hangigirkar, Ravi Kumar, Raj Bawa and Vicky Ostwal all picked up 2 wickets respectively, while Kaushal Tambe and Nishant Sindhu picked 1 wicket each.
Niti Aayog organized a national-level workshop on bamboo development today. Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh inaugurated the workshop, along with Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Dr. Rajiv Kumar, Member Dr. V.K. Saraswat and CEO Amitabh Kant. Through the workshop, participants sought to holistically understand all components of the bamboo value chain in order to develop strategies and a roadmap for the development of a circular economy in the sector. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is expected to be in the grip of cold wave today. The minimum temperature was 3 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 19 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, the minimum temperature was 20 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 30 degrees Celsius. The sky will be mainly clear. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The temperature will vary between 23 and 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have moderate fog. The city observed a minimum temperature of 15 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 25 degrees Celsius. Srinagar will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between -4 and 9 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was 6 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 19 degrees. Leh is likely to have a partly cloudy sky. The minimum and maximum temperatures will hover between -15 and -2 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between -7 and 10 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have a partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 5 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 17 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. India, Omicron cases up 27% in a day, rise 2.6 times in just 3 days, writes the Times of India. Economic Times reports that the fears of a third wave have prompted companies to strengthen work-from-home mandates, review safety protocols and check vaccination status of employees. CEC says all parties in UP want polls on time despite COVID-19, the Asian Age reports. States demand GST compensation for 5 more years after 2022, reports the Economic Times. Delhi protests over Beijing's renaming bid in Arunachal, says the Asian Age. The paper adds that this is the second time in 5 years that the Chinese are attempting to rename places in Mandarin language. And finally, the Times of India reports that as soon Delhi legislators will also be able to work from home thanks to a proposed automation software that will facilitate digital submission of queries.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to transfer 10th installment of PM Kisan scheme to the bank accounts of more than 10 crore farmers tomorrow. Prime Minister launches 23 projects worth over 17,500 crore rupees at Haldwani in Uttarakhand. Says present decade belongs to Uttarakhand. GST Council to meet today to discuss important agenda including report of the panel of state ministers on rate rationalization. Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra says all political parties in Uttar Pradesh want assembly elections on time. 3 terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces at the outskirts of Srinagar city in Jammu and Kashmir. Government to send SMS reminder for precautionary dose of COVID vaccine. Bharat Biotech says Covaxin found to be safe for children in phase 2 and 3 trials. And in cricket, India to lock horns with Sri Lanka in the final of Under-19 Asia Cup in Dubai at 11 a.m. today. And with that we end the morning news. Have a nice day.